All right. Good afternoon, guys. I know it's 6 o'clock, but I did say between 5 and 6. I would choose my times. So today I took the time to find the perfect topic. So much so that to have a healthy relationship, but they don't. I don't know. So, what do we look for? What am I looking for? I know it comes up with another question. What are the signs that you should look for that says it's a healthy relationship? Now, there are a lot of relationships that tend to take the wrong turn. We might have a partner who's controlling, he's toxic, trust is broken, there's infidelity, there's betrayal, there's emotional upheaval, and we wonder, how do we deal with it? How do we go about dealing with a situation like that? Now, it's important to identify what most people are looking for in a healthy, long lasting relationship. There are a lot of people that don't know how beautiful a long lasting, committed, romantic relationship looks like, and they don't know what they deserve. There are people, for example, who grew up seeing toxic patterns in relationships, and because of that, they believe that that's the norm, and they themselves will end up having broken relationships where they think that their behavior is proportionate to how a relationship should be, right? So, with that in mind, I want you guys to know that healthy relationships have certain characteristics, right? And these characteristics help to make up a committed, happy, healthy relationship. One of the first things in a happy and healthy relationship, what makes the base for a happy and healthy relationship, is trust. All right. Without trust, you don't have anything. If you start your relationship on a lie, no matter how small the lie is, or how big the lie is, or how the person will never find out about the lie, because you started a relationship on a lie, there's gonna be a huge lack of trust, right? And without trust, you give way to lack of emotional intimacy, and then you have a constant level of uncertainty, which leads to insecurity. And without trust as the foundation to every relationship, there is no way that your relationship can stand the test of time. The second point, it makes up one of the pillars of a happy relationship. That's communication. Now, communicating honestly and respectfully is very hard of us, for a lot, and we have to unlearn keep things to ourselves and being open to our partner and tell them respectfully what's in us. Communicate in a soft manner that just depicts that, okay, I love you and I'm just gonna talk to you about what's going on. And communication keeps things open. There's transparency in those types of relationships where communication is a very big and strong pillar in that relationship. Now, once you learn to communicate effectively, you are going to have a long lasting, great, great relationship. The next point I want to go for is patience. Nobody's perfect. And every day we go to work or we leave our partner side, we go out there and we face a world of stress and things that irritate us, aggravate us, and then we have to go home to our partners. They themselves might be aggravated through things throughout the day, and there must be a level of patience to allow this person just to decongest. Right? I know some people are home all day, and when their partner comes home, they're like super excited. Tell me about your day. Tell me about. And he's like, or she's like, listen, I. And then an argument ensues. You never want to talk to me. It goes on and on, and it's not necessary. Where, if you just give that person, you just give that person some space, and you be patient with them, they will eventually come to you and talk to you about what's going on. Because you see, it's a partnership, and you must extend patience to allow peace, flexibility, and support. Without patience, resentment, bitter words, they grow. They grow, and they take away from the unconditional love that you would have each other, right? Now, this drives us to the other point. Empathy is one of the pillars that you need within your relationship. You need to be able to understand the person's perspectives, their pains, their truth, and their reality. Now, my brother has told me this when I was younger. You can't change somebody's reality. You can't change somebody's truth. So I choose to abide by that. It actually made a lot of sense, because my reality and my truth is my reality and my truth, and your reality is your reality, and there's gonna be some level of compromise within it, so that you and I could actually have a comfortable and understanding relationship. So empathy is truly important for a long lasting long-term relationship. And without empathy, well, it's like trust. If you can't feel what your partner is feeling, then you're gonna have a hard time understanding this person. Right? The next point I want to get to is affection. Now, I'm a teddy bear of a guy, and I love affection, right? And I know a lot of guys don't act like they do like affection, but they love affection just as much. We love affection. Love to know that, all right, cool, I got this person, makes us feel secure, right? This affection says kissing, hugging, touching, that goes a long way. And there have some people who might say, oh my god, you don't. No, you can never overdo affection. You can never ever overdo physical affection and physical intimacy. You never do it. It's impossible to overdo it. You see, where there's a level of affection that can be interrupted by anyone, you just want that person. You just long for that person. You just want that affection. You long for it. Both partners, male, female, they just long for that affection that they get from that person. And nobody can stand in the middle of that. So it's near impossible to overdo physical affection, right? Now, I have a lot of us who you see, we go into relationships where there's two people, but there's a lack of flexibility in understanding that we both come from two different worlds and we're trying to merge to one, right? Which brings my point across. Flexibility, right? Relationships are about compromise. Relationships are about compromise. Relationships are about compromise. I had to say that so that it will drive that point across, that there must be compromise in a relationship. But it's important that both partners are flexible, right? Um, it can't be one person doing more than the other, one person compromising more than the other, because that would end up shifting the paradigm to the point of breaking. You know the old time saying, "It take one more straw here to break the camel's back." There's if there's not a balance on both sides of the scale, then what's gonna happen is one person is gonna feel like they're doing too much, and the other person isn't enough, and that can lead to other conflicts. So to mitigate conflicts that may come about, both partners must bend equally. And even though you might have different paths, you must allow each other to grow. Right? Now this goes into our other point, my other point, and I love this point the most because it's simple, but it's a pillar of the relationship. Not a big one because not a lot of people utilize it, but it's a pillar. It's one of the pillars of a relationship, and that's affection. I'm sorry, appreciation. My bad. I'm sorry. Appreciation is one of the greatest feelings that you can feel. When somebody shows you gratitude, it goes a long way. Far less for your partner. It doesn't take much to tell somebody, "I appreciate you." It could be from a small something that you want to buy, or just even by saying thank you, or just by, when you're laying down in bed and you think about all the things that your partner does for you, and you just say, "Hey babe, I really appreciate you. I really do appreciate you." And by that expression, you improve the satisfaction in the relationship. You decrease any levels of insecurity that the other person might be having, because you let them know that you're grateful that you have them. And that's just amazing, right? The next point, the next characteristic that you should look for, or what makes a great relationship, is giving your partner room to grow. Now, there's a story that I saw on Facebook probably yesterday or today, where there's a woman who was with a man for 10 years. And she felt that the relationship became stagnant. He had some emotional distress, and she tried to be there for him, but she believed that she was doing too much. He put on some weight. He was in a spiral, and she eventually divorced him and went ahead with her life. When she left him, he was a tech, but he's a nerd. So she just left him with, just left him, took half of everything that he had and just left him, went on with her life. He didn't fight, he didn't bicker. It was just, he's just like, all right, fine, it's done, it's done. And she's like, she just gave up on him, whatever. And then she saw him 5 years down the road, and he lost all the weight. The bald patches in his hair all gone, and he was wearing a shirt and a tie. He was wearing a suit. He was looking very put together. He looked really dapper. And they spoke for a little while, and then she found out that he got into technology, and he's working with a very big firm. His life took a turn for the better, and she's angry now. She's pissed off. She's upset because she's struggling to make ends meet. She lives in a small, tiny apartment, while he lives in some hotel, some penthouse in another hotel somewhere. He's doing well for himself, and she's upset. She's like, why, after 5 years, did he just decide to turn his life around? This is where room for growth comes in. Everybody grows differently. I mean, from time you become, everybody walks at different stages of their life, talk at different stages of their life. Everybody does things differently, so there must be room for growth, right? And if you don't allow this person to grow, or you feel like, oh my God, I'm wasting my time, this is not going anywhere, that's where patience come into play as well. You must allow this person to grow. Relationships do become stagnant over time because there's a shift in goals, there's a shift in values, lack of progress, and it would just take the smallest amount of you showing paying interest in that person's interest and finding back the common ground where you once stood to keep the relationship together. It don't make no sense just breaking up and falling apart and walking away when right around the corner is the breakthrough. Now, let's just say that maybe that was the kick in the butt he needed to get himself together. Or maybe if she had just paid a little interest in what he was doing, had some empathy for him, and try to understand, just try to understand what he's going through. Right now, she could have been part of his success. Now, these things, they extend into life at whole, because they have a lot of people who just say you're not doing anything, when really and truly you just need to bear with them just a little bit. Men and women, you just have to bear with it. You must give this person room to grow. You must understand this person, and you must respect this person, which is my other point. Respect is another pillar of a healthy long-term relationship. Now, respect is shown in communicating. And when I say communicating, I mean you communicate with this person in a way that is not belittling, invalidating, or debasing. You show this person the right amount of respect. You show your partner that their words and their actions have value. Right? Sorry. Right? And that their opinions matter. The sad thing is that once you lose respect in a relationship, it's very hard to get it back. It's very hard to, it's a very long road. But if you are determined to make this relationship last, then change must start with you. And you must be ready for the long haul. However, sometimes the damage, the damage is already done. And there's nothing you can really do about it. The other characteristic that I like to talk about would be reciprocation. I spoke about reciprocation yesterday, and it came up as one of the characteristics of a long term healthy relationship. And that just shows that how important it is to reciprocate in a relationship. You must reciprocate each other's feelings. There must be a sense of understanding, and that this must be an equal amount of effort. So it mustn't be like, all right, I picked it or I cooked it of both and just giving back to each other. It mustn't be forced. Reciprocation is supposed to just come naturally in a relationship, a healthy relationship, right? The next characteristic I would like to discuss is healthy conflict resolution. Yeah, healthy conflict resolution. A lot of people don't know how to resolve conflict peacefully. Peaceably. They don't know how to do it in a healthy way. They just don't know because they weren't given the tools or the education to know how to deal with it effectively. Now, to deal with conflict in a healthy manner, it goes right back to communication and respect. You must communicate, and you must communicate effectively and respectfully. You must show this person, all right, cool, I understand what you're saying, and your values, your opinions matter. And then there must be a level of compromise. You don't want to get into an argument or a conflicting situation and you don't know how to deal with it. It's easy. The easiest things sometimes are the hardest things to do. And the easiest thing to do is just say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Can we move on? Find common ground. Find commonality. Be at peace with this person. Don't shout, don't argue, don't rate up, don't. And if you do forgive, don't bring it back up ever, because you forgave that person. All right. Now this point I found to be kind of laughable. It's individuality and boundaries. So obviously you'll think, why you wanna be an individual for? You have me. I did. Where you want again? And in all actuality, that was actually, that was one of my thoughts. Like, really? Individuality in a relationship? But it just so happens that it made a lot of sense. Right? Both of you have individual differences, individual preferences. You guys are individuals that just come to be in a relationship. Right? And that should be respected. That should be respected. And each partner should have the freedom to be themselves, to be who they are. As in, don't change who they are. Because if you fell in love with this person, this individual, respect this individual. Allow them to be themselves. Right? Now, as far as relationship, there should be adequate overlap. So each individual lives would be respected, which goes into the boundaries that somebody might set. For example, you would say, I don't like ABC, XYZ. And those are your boundaries. Those are the things that you find, okay, this is it. Alright, we are together, but this, yeah, let's do that. And there should be a respect of that boundary that you place. Right? Once you respect that boundary, you're on the right track to having a long-term relationship. And the last characteristic that should be really explored is openness and honesty. In better words, transparency. There should be transparency in a relationship from the get-go. You should be open about your wants, your needs, and your desires to your partner, and be honest about it. Be blunt about it, so that they could respect what you desire. And they should do the same. There should not be, I hiding this, I'm keeping this to myself, or, oh my God, there's a secret. Secrets destroy everything. As small as they may be, they're like lies. They're like lies. They just destroy everything. They're just horrible. So be open to your partner. Openness and honesty are valued in a long-term relationship. You let this person in. You're letting this person in in other aspects. So just let this person in. Keep that door open, because they're the only person you should have that door open for. Now, honesty is a ticklish subject, as there have a lot of people who were raised to believe that you should keep some stuff to yourself. And honestly speaking, you should. There are some things that you should keep to yourself. But if what you're keeping to yourself could damage the relationship, then you need to be honest. You need to be open. You need to be honest and open at the exact same time, and let your partner know where you stand. These characteristics, they don't come easy. And there's something, they are characteristics that you have to learn and to embody within yourself and within your relationship, to have your relationship become long lasting. There are some people who just have a knack for it, and there are those who don't have a knack for it. But once love is there, once you love this person and you are happy in this relationship, put in the work. It's worth it. It's worth it. It is worth it. And there's nothing else but than knowing that you have somebody. Like that song that said, it's so good loving somebody when somebody loves you back. That's a fact. It is a fact. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your night. This is King at King's Rant Nation saying good night and have a beautiful, beautiful night, people. Keep your relationship flames going. Burn them high.